Let's step into the unsettling, imaginative, and often prophetic world of J.G. Ballard, one of the most distinctive voices in 20th century English fiction. Ballard was an English novelist, satirist, and essayist, widely admired for the way he explored human psychology, technology, sexuality, and mass media. This very thematic combination has been asked in exam, so note it carefully. Ballard became closely associated with the New Wave movement in science fiction, a movement that pushed the genre into deeper psychological and experimental territory. That association has also appeared in exam. Rather than focusing on aliens or futuristic gadgets, Ballard turned inward, asking how technology, trauma, and modern life reshape the human mind. He gained early fame for his post-apocalyptic novels, especially The Drowned World, and this novel's classification as post-apocalyptic has been mentioned in exam. His worlds are often flooded, ruined, or transformed, yet the true crisis is always inside the characters. Ballard once said that Earth is the only alien planet, reflecting his belief that modern society itself had become surreal. In 1970, he created a storm of controversy with the Atrocity Exhibition, a book that challenged conventional morality and narrative structure. Its experimental form and shocking content were debated widely, and that notoriety has been asked in exam. A few years later came Crash in 1973, a novel about people who develop a fetishistic obsession with car crashes. It shocked readers, but also became one of his most influential works. Ballard reached a broader audience with his 1984 novel Empire of the Sun, a story drawn from his childhood experiences during the Second World War. The novel brought him major recognition and was adapted into a 1987 film by Steven Spielberg, bringing Ballard's name to worldwide attention. Later works like The Kindness of Women explored his life even further, creating a linked autobiographical arc. Over the years, the term Ballardian entered the dictionary. It refers to dystopian modernity, the emptiness of man-made landscapes, and the psychological effects of media and technology. His ideas have influenced filmmakers, musicians, and writers alike, with movie versions of his works such as Crash in 1996 and High Rise in 2015 expanding his legacy. Ballard's fiction remains relevant because it confronts the anxieties of contemporary life with clarity, boldness, and often uncomfortable honesty. Now, let's look more closely at Empire of the Sun, Ballard's most celebrated work. Published in 1984, the novel won the James Tett Black Prize and was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, a distinction that has been asked in exam. Although written as fiction, the novel draws heavily from Ballard's own wartime experiences, making it one of the most powerful autobiographical novels of the 20th century. The title comes from the etymological meaning of the word Japan, a reminder of the cultural and political forces shaping the story. Ballard later discussed the making of the novel, as well as Spielberg's film adaptation, in his autobiography, giving readers insight into how memory becomes fiction. The story follows Jamie Jim Graham, a young British boy, and Jim's identity as a British boy protagonist has appeared in exam. He lives in Shanghai with his parents in the years before the Second World War. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese army occupies the international settlement, and the once privileged foreign community collapses into chaos. During this turmoil, Jim becomes separated from his parents, beginning a long and harrowing journey of survival. He hides in abandoned houses and empty mansions, living off packaged food and learning how fragile civilization can be. Eventually, he surrenders to the Japanese and is sent to the Lunghua internment camp, where hunger, disease, and despair overwhelm the prisoners. Despite being officially enemies, Jim becomes fascinated by Japanese fighter pilots, admiring their discipline and fearlessness. Ballard uses this admiration to show how war distorts a child's values and imagination. As the war drags on, food grows scarce, and many prisoners starve. Jim himself comes close to death before being saved by American airdrops, a moment that symbolizes hope amid destruction. In the final chapters, Jim returns to his pre-war home where he is finally reunited with his parents. The ending is quiet, bittersweet, and deeply moving, a return to safety, but also a loss of innocence. Through Jim's eyes, Ballard shows how war shapes the psyche not only through violence but through the collapse of everyday life. Empire of the Sun remains one of Ballard's most accessible yet profound works, blending childhood memory with historical trauma and offering a powerful meditation on how war transforms the human mind.